Well, the Philadelphia Eagles are getting ready for Sunday. We actually have some good news, which is good because I feel like it just gets to a point where we've been very negative this week, and having some good news now is a great thing. We have a mock trade for a specific safety that has come out the other day and would be very interesting. Kind of go over the numbers to that because the Eagles are still on the search for secondary help. So let's get into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So a couple more days, and the Eagles are playing Sunday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins. So I know it's been a hectic week. I know a lot of fans haven't been haven't really been positive this week, and I understand that. I totally get it. With some of the moves the Eagles did make, and obviously some roster changes this week because of the injuries and stuff. But first, I want to get through the important stuff, which is getting more secondary help. The Eagles have been looking. So you're not getting Jeremy Chin now with the quad injury for the next 6 weeks. So what other safeties are out there? I don't think they're going to get a hybrid player at this point. I don't know really who's available or who they could trade for at this point, but I feel like if they're going to get maybe a safety, a rental for the year, or maybe the future, there was a Kevin Byard mock trade that came out by PFF where the Eagles received Kevin Byard and the Eagles only give up a 25 third-round pick, which I think is really good. I know that Kevin Byard, and I think he's a Philly guy too. I think Kevin Byard's he had a pay cut this year. I think it was like $4 million. I know his contract was negotiated early this year before the season started, and this was definitely a guy that we were looking at. A lot of safeties we were looking at before the season started and what they were going to do before the draft. If they were going to sign somebody long-term with Reed Blankenship coming in and did a really nice sample size job for us last year when giving him a chance because of injuries. So took a $4 million pay cut mostly and got most guaranteed money this year. 2 more years left on his deal. So since it's been like 6 weeks of the NFL season, his numbers, for the Eagles to afford him definitely have went down a lot. But with the Titans imploding or waiting to implode at this point, with not having any quarterbacks and just their offensive line's a mess. There's already been rumors on Derrick Henry getting traded, listening to offers, but probably not going to pull the trigger on anything. And Derrick Henry's going to be almost 30 years old. Kevin Byard would be very interesting, and it might actually sway his way to go to another team, kind of change his mind, because I think if he's not going anywhere with this team in Tennessee, okay, maybe, A.J. Brown knows him very well. There could be a little bit of help with that from him, where you could get a guy that's great in the box. His coverage is pretty good, and he's an aggressive player, and he's very smart, and just see what he could do. I think, Kevin Byard, I don't think Kevin Byard would want to come here just for the year. I think it would be a long-term deal, or maybe he would come for the year. I don't know. If he's chasing a ring or feels like, I have an opportunity right now to go to another team and, try to work for a championship right now and being part of the Eagles defense, then why not? You know what I mean? So his contract isn't impossible at all. I mean, it's very affordable for the Eagles, and I think with an extension beyond 24, I think, they can get something done, lower those cap numbers, and I think they can afford him. And they got to take a shot at somebody. I don't know who it's going to be, if it's Budda Baker or whoever else is out there. But you're limited now. You have a few weeks left after this week. You got a few weeks left, couple weeks left, and that's it. And then you can't trade for players anymore. And the Eagles really have to. I know Julio Jones isn't the only signing we're going to have. I mean, that was the most surprising one because we really need more on defense than we do on offense. Getting another receiver really wasn't the big problem here. But getting Kevin Byard to Philadelphia, another player that could be very successful in Sean Desai's defense, really help out that back end so much. With Justin Evans is on IR right now. Terrell Evans is our worst safety, and Reed Blankenship is going to be out for probably this week with the rib injury. Hopefully we'll be back in a week or two. So Sidney Brown hasn't played in a few weeks. I can't expect Sidney Brown to have a crazy, fantastic game when he's been out for so long. and getting used to getting into a game again. It's been what, 3-4 weeks Sidney Brown's been out. It's been a long time. I'm not expecting him to be a superstar on Sunday. And if he is, then great. If not, then it's just what we have to just, let him just do his thing for the next few weeks. You know what I mean? For the rest of the season until he gets more comfortable. So, third round pick is great. Now, I don't know if the Eagles have third or fourth round picks for next year. I'm not sure. I think they may have a third, but I don't think they have a fourth next year. So I would, maybe add in another pick for, maybe, I don't know, next year's maybe a mid-round pick for next year if they could do it. Compensatory picks or whatever. I know those won't take effect or anything yet until the end of the season. But I think they can get something done here for Kevin Byard. And that's, I think, for a third-round pick in 25 is a steal. You know what I mean? So if that's what it's going to take, then go get it done. We really need the help. And if Howie Roseman thinks this is a championship team, then just go get it done. So that's what I've been saying. Like, they just, when are they going to pull the trigger on this thing? Obviously, it's too late in the week now. They can't do anything before the game, so we just have to deal with what we have to deal with going and playing, Miami on Sunday night in Philadelphia. So I'm glad that this kind of came out. That this doesn't mean that it's official or anything like that, but it just means that maybe there's some behind the scenes information on with the Titans, and I mean, we're just waiting. Atop of Denver and Carolina, I think Tennessee is another team that's going to be rebuilding and blowing out their whole entire roster. It's going to happen sooner or later. It might happen after this year because I don't know why they're holding on so much. They need to kind of recreate themselves with that whole entire roster, from quarterback to offensive line to running back. Get rid of the players that don't want to be there and get some draft compensation. Let them go and try to get a ring or be on a better team. And Kevin Byard would be great. So we'll see what happens. Some news on the injury list, which is great. A lot of good news here. And I think it's time that we had some good news. Devonta Smith said he's fine. He ain't got to worry about me. I'll be out there. So I know he was wearing a compression sleeve, I think, on his right leg. He's got the hamstring injury, whatever. So we'll see how he is. If he's playing, then he definitely is close to 100% or 100%. So we'll see what happens, but nice to have Devonta Smith back. It was really nice to see, like, the Eagles practice with their Kelly Green helmets on. I wasn't even thinking about that this week, that they were actually going to do that, and they actually did it. Julio Jones, man. I mean, if I put something on Twitter, I thought it was really funny because I was like, Dan, you know what? Like, my mystery life card of the day, if it would be anything to guess, it would not be Julio Jones in an Eagles jersey with a Kelly Green helmet on. So interesting to see, like, what he does this week and how much playing time he's going to get. And they signed him pretty early in the week, so he definitely has enough time to get his crap together with the offense, and I think he's going to get a lot of playing time, guys. I think you have an upgrade in the slot. I'm not saying they're not going to use Zacchaeus at all, but because Zacchaeus is very valued with his blocking. But you have a guy now that's a Hall of Famer, and as your number 3 receiver or your number 4, whatever. And Jalen Hurts seems to think that he's going to get a lot of playing time. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But I want to see what the snap count's going to be for some of these guys and how much opportunity they're going to have. And obviously, on top of all of this, we got to see what BrianJohnson does. And, it's a big week for him, especially us Eagles fans. All eyes are on BrianJohnson Sunday night because it's going to tell us where this team is heading, after playing Miami. So, we'll see what happens. Big play Slay looks like even watching some of the tape today at practice, looked like he's going to be full. Looked like he's going to be a full go, which is great. Really need him back. Really do. I'm done with the Josh Jobe thing. Like, I just want these guys to stay healthy and need our cornerbacks, need our starting outside corners for this game. I don't know if they're going to be shadowing guys all over the field between Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and I know they're going to play a lot of off the ball, especially for this week. They're going to. I mean, they have to. They really have no choice. You have a track star wide receiver group that's it's really going to depend on their defensive line and really helping the secondary out and getting turnovers. So that's what's a good thing. Lane Johnson is back as well. We heard from Brian Baldy You know, he worked out with him at his house, and you know, Lane has been officially back since pretty much yesterday, which is good. So I'm glad he's back in the lineup, and you know, no Jack Driscoll on the right side, which I'm very happy about because that was a disaster, and I do not want that to happen again. So we have some stability now on the right side, and makes me more comfortable going into this game offensively, get the run game going, and obviously get the protection that Jalen Hurts needs. So that's a great thing. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I'm excited for Sunday night. I'm pumped about it. You know, Kelly Greens. There's a lot going out. There's a lot going into this game. It not just because the Eagles are wearing the Kelly Greens, and you know the Phillies are in the playoffs, and it's really this team. You know, this is a big test this week, and to see where the Eagles are at from their coaching staff and from a roster standpoint. We know what the roster is right now. You know, Josiah Scott's going to be in the nickel this week, which you know, Bradley Roby's out with a shoulder week to week right now. So you know, we had to move the roster a little bit this week, and you know, I know a lot of Philadelphia Eagle fans have been very negative this week, and I get it. You know, it was a hard showing against the Jets, and hopefully they play better. You know, I don't see the Eagles rolling over, roll over on Miami. Like they're just going to give up. You know, you're at the link and you're wearing Kelly Greens, and you're wearing jerseys that people have been really watching, you know, old time players for a long time. And, you know, I don't think you want to embarrass yourselves on a Sunday night like that. I really hope this team really fights and shows me something. Because trust me, if BrianJohnson does well, I'm not going to say BrianJohnson's going to be perfect, but if he plays good, I mean, if he calls the plays very well, and, you know, we're distributing the ball nicely and we're running the football, we're not throwing 45 times a game, I'll be happy, you know. Having Jalen Carter back this week is a big one for the Eagles defensive line. Hassan Reddick, 5.5 sacks, few games without the cast on. He's finally getting into his own now with the rest of the defensive line. Can't say that much for Derek Barnett, but it is what it is. The injury report is very good, and a nice bit of positive news for us going forward. So other than that, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about the matchup in general on Sunday, and let me know about Kevin Byard. You know, how much interest would you have in trading for him? Do you think a 25 third-round pick is fair? I think it's a steal, to be honest with you. And plus, if the Eagles want to rent him, or maybe have him for 2 years, this year, next year, maybe, and then if you want to extend him to kind of lessen the cap number and have a safety in here for the rest of, for a few more years, that's not a bad idea, to be honest. Titans are about to implode sooner or later, so got to keep an eye on that as well. You guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes it up, Philadelphia. Peace out, guys. Peace.